YouTube? Boys, quickly welcome back to the channel. The new compressor's here. I could dress stuff up again. I've gone for exactly the same thing as that one. It just means I can get all this lot done, but then once I get that other one sorted and fixed and working again, if I can, then I can daisy chain them together and I've got more CFM than I can shake a stick at. It is now Friday. I've got a couple of hours in here and that's it, because I've got to go and pick up some other bits and pieces. But I want to get a start on this sort done. This weekend, I'm back in again tomorrow, but I want to try and get all these braces and stuff put in if I possibly can do. So we're going to start with that one, because that one over there is a complete pain. It's this cope up here. It's just the dumbest shape ever. So we're going to mark all this up, cut a bit of tube off, and see if we can't get it to fit. 122 maybe. Ish. My sharp is useless. Right then, so he's going on like that and up to that bit, and this is where it all gets interesting. I need to cope this bit out. It is really hard. Right, let's have a starter for 10. What's that knot? Oh, I'm out of welding wire. Oh, right, I'll be back. Well, that was the longest trip ever, just to get welding wire. It's now Saturday. It didn't take me that long, honest, but by the time I battled my way through lunchtime traffic, got served and got one, which is broken. The spooler's got a big chunk out of it, look, right there. Ain't gonna matter though. But yeah, by the time I got it all, got back here, it was time to pack up and go to my work. So, we are now on Saturday, which is alright, because I've got the day in here. There we go. So we can crack on and get stuff done. There we go. I've got some new tips and shrouds and stuff as well. Might as well change them just because I'm in here. So he can go on there. Come on. So he's on. Nice new shroud. And we're in business again. Right, where was I? Oh, I was doing that side bit. Right. He's still a bit warm. Just blobbed on a whole load of weld, got that in. I've measured it up and we're where we need to be, so that's all good. I've also shoved the engine back in, just because I'm trying to get my head around the bracing. This one's got me a little bit worried, but I'm going to do that, yeah? I'm going to work on the front. Right, this one has got me concerned. Basically, the engine, this engine mount, that can stay, that's fine. This one needs to be removable. And because I've made a silly frame, it comes back a couple of inches from where it used to, just because of the curve I've had to put into it. I'll be honest, when I'm going to get gusseted, that's not a problem. The concern I've got is the length of these engine mounts. It is fixed in 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 4 places, so there's 8 mounts in total. But I need to keep them at least as strong as what we've got here. So it's where I'll place this bar, because it also picks up on the top mount for the rear shock. So if I was to, just a regular bit of tube, if I was to just put a straight piece across here, that moves it back 2 inches and up like 1 inch or something, and that suddenly is going to make that shock mount, that engine mount, really, really long, and I don't like the idea of that. I don't like the idea of that at all. So what we might be doing, if I get my cheater, is put a curve in it like that, put a bend in it, and have it so it comes off the back of this tube forwards to the same level. It's hard to spot because obviously that's in the way, but if we was to pull this out for a sec, and no, don't be dropping stuff. So let's get rid of that. I could shove something in that kind of comes part way too. Still have a similar sort of mount there, so it kind of fixes on the side of the tube here and comes out to pick up the top shot instead of being directly above, which really is what I wanted, because then everything's under compression. I can move it in and I can shorten this distance. I can't shorten it too much at all, not really, because I still want to be able to get the engine in and out without the breakaway. So the engine would need to come back just a little bit, so it'll probably be about like that, I would think, just with a curve on it either side. And put a little gusset in up the top here. Maybe that's the way to do it, I don't know. As far as making this one removable, what I'm thinking of doing is using some more of these jobbies. I can have that in there. I can shove a couple of these through, so I've got like a blind bolt hole with loads of thread engagement, be like 30mm or something, and then whatever the bracket is just on that side would bolt directly into it, and you know, just make a nice looking bracket that's removable. And this one I'll just make to look the same, or I'll just weld it straight on, I don't know, but that's what I'm thinking. But I ain't got to worry about this yet, because we're doing the front. It is dead handy having an engine you can just shove in and out without grunting a lot. Right, so up front here I've got to get a supporting beam across here, something like that. I would like to keep it, I mean the original one was a little bit lower than these side ones, so that's probably where we're going to go, about like that. And then once he's through, there needs to be 2 other bits that come up sort of from that corner and come more to the middle, or you know, in a little bit, and they join up with this tube here. So I think if I get that one in, I need to have a look at the pictures and see exactly where it landed. It's weird that it was like part way down. You would have thought they would have gone right on the joint, just because that would be the strongest bit, but I don't know. Well, we'll just go with what the OEM did. It does make the triangle a little bit bigger, so that would make it stronger, which is not a bad thing. So I think that's what I'm doing. And the good news is, that bit of tube looks like it's long enough. Yeah, it is. So all those cock-up bits, I'm reusing them now, they're not going to waste. Right, let's have him off, get some copes in, stick it up and see where we are. Right, so that's got those braces in there. They are just tacked in place at the minute. I've fully welded up this cross beam, but to get into all this I need to take it out of the jig. So it is just tacked in, but it's not going anywhere, that's fine. Shoved the engine back in as well and the dummy headers and clamped all them up because I need to, where is he? I need to put in a cross member. So I've just got the engine in for placement, but basically this is going to be set between those tubes and run about like that. Sort of midway between where the headers come out and where the engine mounts are going to be. If anything, maybe a little bit closer to the headers. But he's going to go in like that. So I have, this is all the tube I've got left of this, believe it or not. I've got a couple of bent bits where I cocked it up before. But that's all I've got left. So I've chomped a bit up, you know, cleaned up the tube. This has gone like this in the space of 2 weeks. It was all nice and shiny. It ain't anymore, so it's all getting Scotch-Brighted up and made to look nice. And I've shoved him in the mill, so now I need to cope it basically. So let's have a quick measure, because I know all this is level. So if we stick you on there and get a reference, Right, so that's the reference. So now I just need to know if there's an angle to these. So he can come off for now. And I want to know what this is. Tch, 89.75. .75. Right. Well, I'm just going to do it at 90 degrees then. Right, so the front brace is all in. It's just tacked. I haven't fully welded it. I want to get the two rear ones in. I'm going to do as much welding on them as I can, and then the whole thing is just going to have to come out of the jig. It ain't going to go anywhere at all. But all that lot needs to be dressed down. Now I've got a compressor, I can do it. But it all needs to be dressed down, and I need to weld the bits that I couldn't get to previously. But that's going to have to happen out of the jig. Coffee first. Right, so this top bar here, he needs to be thicker. This is like 3mm thick or something. So I've got a length of tube, and chances are I'm going to use this on this bottom one here as well. I don't really care if it's skinnier stuff, that's suspension. So he's going to have a thicker bit in there as well. That is just going to go straight across there between the two tubes, just above this, which is obviously where the shock comes in. There is a little bit of a kick out to it, not a lot though. So I need to find out what this angle is, and then we're going to cope it to that, and it's just going to run straight across the top here. If I can get that one in and get that one in, basically then it's just a case of dressing it all up and doing all the mounts, you know, for the engine and whatnot. So let's figure out these angles and have at it. roasty toasty. Let's turn all this off. I've welded in as much as I can. There's bits I just can't get to at the front. So those little stays down the front, I'm going to have to do those on the bench. So that's not a problem. However, I'm pretty much out of time. I've got to get going. I've got stuff I need to be doing. Got this one in. That's all good. Quite happy with that. I need to get this bottom one in to pick up here and for the lower mounts. But I'm going to have to do that during the week. So this week, because I've got my compressor now, I'm going to get that bottom one in. That shouldn't take too long. Then the whole thing is coming out, going on the bench. I'm welding up the bits that I can't get to, and I'm dressing loads of stuff up because I want to start making it look nice because it looks scabby as at the minute. But anyway, we're off to a very good start. I need just a massive tidy up. Grinding dust all over the place, everywhere. It does get everywhere too. What was I going to say? Yeah, a few people have been in touch because I said the whole in the last video that if you've got a build on the go, because I do quite often get little messages from people going, oh, I've got something I'm building, blah blah blah, and they sent me pictures of it. So we've had a few more come through, some really quite good ones actually, certainly unexpected. There was Kenny Cack. He's the fella that sorted me out with a length of hose. Thank you, Kenny. But he's got a Street Fighter on the go. He was also the fella who was going on about Magnum frames and everything else for this one. So he chips in on a regular basis. But this is, I'll put pictures up and whatnot so you can see. But this is his ride that he's sorting out at the minute. Looks like he's still got a fair amount to do on it, but it's getting there, eh? And there is a ton of work that goes into this sort of stuff. So, you know, hats off to him for having a go. The other fella is, I think his name's Andy North. I'm sure it's Andy North. If it's not Andy, I will put your proper name up here, but he sent me some pictures. He's doing something a little bit unusual. He's doing a scoop. He's got like a little, I think it's a 125 or something. It looks horrible in stock form. Well, it looks properly horrible. But he's completely having all this lot apart and he's building something a little bit different. So there'll be a load of little pictures and stuff coming up now. Have a look, see what he's doing. But it just goes to show it's not just like 600s or 750s or whatever. You can have a go at anything and make it look better, but there's some work going into that. There really is. You can just tell from the fabrication work. So anyway, we've had a whole load more messages about Jasmine, or Jazz. Thank you ever so much for that. That is very, very cool. She's doing all right actually. She's been through, I want to say three rounds of surgery. The first one was just, oh my God, try and put it back together again. And then the other two's like been plastics and whatnot. So she's, you know, she is at home, she is on the mend. She just needs time to heal now, but thank you ever so much for thinking of her. That is really cool. What else was I going to say? I haven't got much tube left, look. I haven't. I did my 2 cheaters and I made this. Where is it? I made me dummy set of headers just because that's exactly the same size tube. So I'll be keeping that anyway for future ones. But these little offcuts, not that one, that's my insert bit. I need to keep that. Right. That and those 3 bends, that's the only tube I've got left from that, those original lengths and stuff that I've got. So I haven't exactly wasted much. Even though I cocked it up twice, I've been able to cut the bends off to use in a different place to actually get the frame done. So that's not bad going, I don't think. If I cock up, well, actually, that is going to get used because I've got, no, hang on, this bit. That's going to get used for the bottom suspension thingy in the engine mount. But, you know, that's it. That's all I've got left. So even though I did cock stuff up, don't chuck your scrap away. If you cock it up, that little bend, that might come in handy somewhere else, and it has done. I do need just a massive tidy up. It's almost like Steve-O's been here, isn't it? It's just tools everywhere. Right, so what's happening? Well, I'm back in here again tomorrow because I need to swap these compressors over. The new one's going in there. That one is completely buggered. The capacitor's all blown out. There's loads of wiring that's got very, very hot at some point. As fast as I tip oil in the top of the pump, it's disappearing somewhere and I don't know where. And if you turn the pump over by hand, it is proper graunchy, so I think it's had it. However, Jack, a couple of doors down, who does all the powder coating, he gave me this. Look at that. 0.55 kilowatt, 240 volt single phase motor with pulleys. So, I've had a bit of a sneaky idea that I was chatting with him about, and he's come up trumps with that. So a combination of that and the old compressor, or bits of it, we're going to have another workshop tool. I ain't doing any of that until this lot's done. So, back in tomorrow, compressors is getting switched over, so I get all my air tools back. I'm going to weld up everything that I can do on the frame whilst it's in there, and I'm going to get that bottom tube put in as well. And then the whole lot's coming off, it's going on the fab table, and it's all getting, you know, welded, the bits that I can't get to at the minute, and it's all getting dressed up. So that is basically next week sorted. I want to make it look presentable. I need to do the gussets around the swing arm at the back here, and I can't do that until all the weld is dressed up, and I can't do that until I get my air tools back in, and I ain't going to get that until the compressors have been swapped. So that's what I'm doing. Not sure when Steve-O's going to be back. I think it's going to be like a couple of weeks or something he was talking about. We do have a road trip planned in April on a weekend, which I'm looking forward to. But more of that when we get closer to the time. And probably next week when I do the video on, you know, dressing it all up and stuff, I've got plans for what we're going to be doing with this and the order it's all going to happen. So we'll lay all the plans out, but it's I think it's going to be great. I really do. Anyway, that's where I'm leaving it, this one. Thank you ever so much for watching. Do hope you're well and staying safe, and we'll see you on the next one. Laters!